Hey folks, welcome back to Stoic Relationships. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like someone wasn't being completely real with you? Maybe it's a partner who says all the right things but acts differently when no one's watching. Or maybe it's a friend who's all smiles with you but doesn't show the same kindness to others. It's frustrating, right? You can't help but wonder, who are they really? Here's the thing, we've all been there. People are complicated. They show you one side, but the real version of them, that often reveals itself in the small moments. The unguarded reactions, and how they treat others when there's nothing to gain. That's what today's video is all about. We're diving into the 7 key signs that reveal someone's true colors. These are the clues you can use to truly understand who's worth your trust, your time, and maybe even your heart. Think about how much time and energy we spend building relationships, whether it's with a partner, a friend, or even a colleague. But what if you're investing in someone who isn't who you think they are? What if, down the line, their actions show you a side you didn't expect? That's a painful realization. And trust me, it happens more often than you'd think. But here's the good news. You don't have to be caught off guard. There are subtle signs, patterns, and behaviors that can help you see the truth before it's too late. This isn't about judging others or being overly critical. It's about clarity, seeing people for who they are so you can decide how to move forward with confidence and wisdom. Let me tell you why this matters. Whether you're trying to deepen a romantic connection or navigate tricky social dynamics, recognizing these signs can save you from heartache and disappointment. For example, how someone reacts to boundaries. Do they respect them, or do they push against them? That single detail can tell you so much about their respect for others and for you. And this doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It's relevant in every area of life. Friendships, family, even work. How someone handles criticism or behaves under pressure isn't just a reflection of their character. It's a glimpse into how they'll handle challenges in your relationship down the road. Wouldn't it be amazing to have a toolkit to spot these patterns early? This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. The Stoics believed that actions, not words, define character. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Duty, it's a powerful reminder to focus on what people do rather than what they say. By recognizing these 7 signs, you'll not only protect yourself, but also learn how to align with people whose values resonate with yours. Now, imagine the freedom this knowledge gives you. You'll no longer second-guess someone's intentions or feel blindsided when their true nature emerges. You'll know what to look for, and that clarity will empower you to make choices that serve your well-being. And here's the best part. These insights don't just help you evaluate others, they also help you reflect on yourself. As we explore these signs, you might start to notice areas where you can grow, becoming the kind of person who commands respect and builds meaningful connections. So, why stick around? Because this video isn't just about spotting red flags. It's about unlocking a deeper understanding of human behavior, both in others and in yourself. By the end, you'll have a whole new perspective on relationships, one that empowers you to build stronger, more authentic connections. All right, let's jump in and explore these 7 signs. Trust me, what you're about to learn could change the way you see every relationship in your life. Let's get started. Sign 1, how they act around the unimportant. Hey folks, let's dive into the first, and perhaps one of the most revealing signs of someone's true character. How they act around the unimportant. This might seem like a minor detail, but it's incredibly telling. Why? Because the way someone treats those who can't offer them anything, whether it's status, power, or recognition speaks volumes about who they truly are. Think about it. Have you ever been out with someone who is perfectly charming and polite to you, but becomes dismissive or rude when interacting with a waiter, a cashier, or anyone they consider beneath them? That sudden shift in behavior isn't just bad manners, it's a red flag. It shows that their kindness is conditional, only offered when they stand to gain something. Folks, this isn't just about a lack of respect. It reveals a deeper lack of empathy and integrity. As Epictetus said, "Be gentle with all, but firm with yourself." A truly genuine person treats everyone with the same respect, regardless of their position or what they can offer. This consistency isn't just a sign of good character, it's a reflection of inner strength and self-awareness. On the other hand, someone who is kind to the powerful but cruel to the powerless is showing you their priorities loud and clear. Let's put this into a real-world example. Imagine you're at a coffee shop with a friend. The barista accidentally mixes up their order, and instead of calmly asking for it to be corrected, your friend snaps, raises their voice, and makes the barista feel small. That single moment reveals far more about their character than hours of polite conversation ever could. It's in these small, everyday interactions that true colors emerge. So, how can you apply this insight in your own life? Start paying attention to how the people around you treat those in service roles, or those who don't hold any perceived power. Are they patient and kind, or dismissive and entitled? Folks, these moments are like windows into their true selves. And once you start noticing them, you'll see just how much they reveal. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if someone just had a bad day? Should I judge them based on one moment? And the answer is no. One interaction doesn't define a person. But patterns do. If someone consistently disrespects or dismisses those they consider unimportant, that's when you know you're seeing their true colors. Before we move on, let me ask you, have you ever noticed this behavior in someone before? Drop a quick "respect matters" in the comments if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're finding this helpful so far, don't forget to hit subscribe. By joining our Stoic Relationships community, you'll gain insights that help you navigate life and relationships with clarity and confidence. Here's the takeaway. How someone treats those who offer them nothing is one of the clearest reflections of their character. Stay tuned, folks. This is just the beginning, and the next signs we'll uncover are just as eye-opening. Sign 2. Their reaction to boundaries. Hey folks, let's talk about something that reveals a lot about someone's true character: how they react to boundaries. Boundaries are an essential part of healthy relationships. They're not about creating walls or pushing people away. They're about setting clear expectations for how you want to be treated and what you're comfortable with. How someone responds to these boundaries speaks volumes about their respect for you and their emotional maturity. Think about this. When you set a boundary, whether it's as small as needing time to yourself or as big as saying no to something that feels wrong, what kind of reaction do you get? A respectful person will acknowledge your boundary, even if they don't fully understand it. They'll recognize that your needs matter, and they won't try to guilt or manipulate you into changing your mind. On the other hand, someone who dismisses, ignores, or pushes against your boundary is showing you a red flag you can't afford to ignore. Boundaries, at their core, are about respect, both for yourself and for the other person. If someone genuinely values you, they'll respect your limits because they recognize that boundaries create trust and balance. Folks, this is why boundaries are not just an act of self-care. They're a test of character for those around you. Let's explore what happens when someone reacts poorly to boundaries. Imagine you've just started seeing someone new, and you let them know you're not comfortable with late-night calls during the work week because you need to focus on your schedule. A supportive person will say something like, "Thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure to respect that." But what if their response is different? What if they say, "Why can't you just pick up the phone? It's not that big of a deal," or worse, they ignore your request altogether? Folks, this isn't just a boundary issue. It's a sign of how they handle conflict and respect your needs. Now, boundaries aren't just about romantic relationships. This applies to friends, family, and even colleagues. For example, think about a coworker who constantly interrupts your focus with non-urgent requests. When you politely let them know you need uninterrupted time to complete your work, do they apologize and adjust their behavior? Or do they brush it off and continue interrupting you? Their reaction tells you a lot about how much they value your time and efforts. Here's a tip. Boundaries are only as effective as the consistency with which you enforce them. Setting a boundary is one thing. Maintaining it is another. When someone tests your boundary and you hold firm, it sends a clear message. You respect yourself, and you expect the same from others. On the flip side, if you repeatedly bend or break your own boundaries, it teaches others that your limits are negotiable, and that's a slippery slope. But let's flip this for a moment. How do you react when someone sets a boundary with you? This is just as important. A Stoic principle reminds us to focus on what we can control, our own behavior. When someone sets a limit, it's an opportunity to show them you're someone who values and respects their needs. A simple, "Thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure to honor that," can go a long way in building trust. Let me share a small exercise that can help you evaluate how someone handles boundaries. The next time you're in a conversation, gently test their reaction to a minor boundary. It could be something as simple as saying, "I'd prefer we discuss this tomorrow. I need some time to think," or pay attention to their response. Are they supportive and understanding, or do they try to push their agenda? Folks, these subtle moments are incredibly telling. Here's a key takeaway. Respecting boundaries isn't just about the boundary itself. It's about valuing the person who set it. When someone respects your boundaries, it shows they care about your well-being and want to build a relationship based on trust and mutual respect. On the other hand, someone who consistently violates or challenges your limits is showing you they prioritize their needs over yours. Before we move on, let me know. Have you ever had to set a firm boundary with someone? How did they respond? Drop a quick "Boundaries Matter" in the comments if this resonates with you. And folks, if you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. Here at Stoic Relationships, we're all about equipping you with tools to build healthier, more balanced connections. Sign 3. How they handle criticism. Hey folks, let's dive into another powerful way to uncover someone's true colors. How they handle criticism. Criticism is one of those things everyone faces. But not everyone deals with it in the same way. The way someone responds to feedback, whether it's calm and thoughtful or defensive and combative, reveals a lot about their character and emotional maturity. Let's start with this. Criticism, when delivered thoughtfully, isn't an attack. It's an opportunity for growth. But for some, even the mildest critique feels like a personal assault. Instead of pausing to reflect, they lash out, make excuses, or shift blame. Folks, this kind of reaction is a clear red flag. It suggests insecurity and an unwillingness to grow, traits that can create major challenges in any relationship. Now think about the opposite. Picture someone who hears criticism, takes a breath, and calmly says, "Thanks for pointing that out. I'll work on it." This kind of response doesn't just show maturity, it shows humility, confidence, and emotional intelligence. It tells you this person is open to learning and values improvement over protecting their ego. Let's break this down further. Imagine you're working on a team project and need to give feedback to a colleague. You politely point out an area for improvement, offering a constructive solution. If their response is defensive, "That's not true," or, "Well, it's not my fault," what does that tell you? Compare that to someone who listens, acknowledges the feedback, and adjusts their approach. Folks, the difference is night and day, and it speaks volumes about their ability to navigate challenges. So, why do some people handle criticism so poorly? It often boils down to ego. When someone's self-worth is tied too closely to their image, even a small critique can feel like a threat. Instead of seeing feedback as a way to grow, they interpret it as an attack on their identity. This fragile ego leads to defensiveness and a refusal to take accountability. On the other hand, those who handle criticism well understand it's about their actions, not their worth as a person. These individuals have a growth mindset. They know that accepting feedback doesn't diminish them, it makes them stronger. Folks, this mindset is what you should look for in anyone you want to build a healthy, lasting relationship with. Here's a simple tip for spotting how someone handles criticism. Pay attention to both their words and their actions. A mature response starts with listening. Do they interrupt or let you finish? Then observe what happens next. Do they reflect and make changes? Or do they dismiss the feedback and carry on as if nothing happened? Remember, actions always speak louder than words. Let's talk about public versus private criticism. Some people might appear calm and composed when receiving feedback in private, but react poorly when it happens in a group. This inconsistency can reveal a reliance on external validation to maintain their self-image. Folks, patterns like these offer powerful insights into someone's true character. Now, here's something for you to think about. How do you handle criticism? Just as we observe others, we should also reflect on our own behavior. When someone offers you feedback, do you react with defensiveness or with openness? Practicing a calm and thoughtful response not only strengthens your own character, but also encourages mutual respect in your relationships. Before we wrap up this section, here's a question to reflect on. Have you ever seen someone's reaction to criticism completely change your perception of them? It's those moments that truly reveal who they are. And folks, if this conversation resonates with you, don't forget to hit subscribe. By joining our Stoic Relationships community, you'll gain even more tools to understand others and build meaningful, balanced connections. Now, let's keep going. There's so much more to uncover. Stick around, because what comes next will give you even deeper insight into how people reveal their true selves, especially in challenging situations. Sign 4. Who they are under pressure. Hey folks, let's explore one of the most revealing moments in anyone's life. How they act under pressure. If there's one thing that truly exposes someone's character, it's how they handle themselves when the stakes are high, emotions are running hot, or things just don't go their way. Pressure has a way of stripping away pretenses and showing us who people really are. Think about it. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to maintain a calm demeanor and say all the right things. But when life throws a curveball, that's when someone's true nature comes to the surface. Do they stay composed, thoughtful, and solution-oriented, or do they crumble, lash out, or blame others? Folks, these moments under pressure reveal so much more than words ever could. Let's take an example you might relate to. Imagine you're working on a team project, and suddenly something goes wrong. Maybe a deadline gets moved up unexpectedly, or a critical error is discovered last minute. How does your teammate react? A person with emotional resilience might say, "Okay, this is stressful, but let's figure out a way to fix it." They focus on solutions and encourage collaboration. But someone who struggles under pressure might start pointing fingers, panicking, or even shutting down completely. That reaction tells you a lot about their ability to navigate challenges and work with others. Now, pressure doesn't just expose emotional maturity, it also highlights someone's core values. For instance, if they consistently prioritize their own needs at the expense of others during difficult times, it shows a lack of empathy and teamwork. On the other hand, someone who stays considerate and supportive under stress demonstrates integrity and strength. But here's the thing, everyone feels pressure differently. Some people internalize it, becoming overly self-critical or anxious, while others externalize it, projecting their stress onto those around them. The key is not whether someone feels pressure, that's inevitable, but how they channel it. Do they use it as fuel to rise to the occasion, or do they let it control them? Let's bring in a little Stoic wisdom here. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. People who embody this mindset can maintain their composure and perspective, even in tough situations. They don't waste energy on what they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can do to improve the outcome. Here's a practical tip for spotting how someone handles pressure. Observe them in situations where things don't go as planned. For example, during a delay, a disagreement, or even a simple inconvenience like a long wait in line. Are they calm and patient, or do they become visibly frustrated and irritable? Folks, these little moments can be incredibly telling. But let's flip this for a moment. How do you handle pressure? This is an important question because your reactions can set the tone for how others respond to you. When faced with a stressful situation, take a moment to breathe and assess. Ask yourself, what can I control here, and how can I approach this calmly? Practicing this mindset not only helps you grow, but also inspires confidence and respect in those around you. Let me share another insight. Sometimes, people's reactions under pressure are tied to deeper insecurities or unresolved issues. For instance, someone who lashes out might be masking fear or frustration they don't know how to process. While it's not your responsibility to fix them, understanding this can help you approach these situations with compassion or recognize when it's time to step away. Before we wrap up this section, let me ask you, have you ever seen someone's behavior under pressure change your opinion of them, either for better or worse? Drop a quick character shows under pressure in the comments if you've had this experience. And folks, if you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. At Stoic Relationships, we're all about equipping you with tools to navigate relationships and life with clarity and wisdom. Here's the takeaway. How someone acts under pressure reveals their emotional maturity, their values, and their ability to handle life's challenges. It's in these moments that their true colors shine through, for better or worse. Stick around, folks. There's more to uncover about how to truly understand the people in your life. Sign 5. Their view on kindness. Hey folks, let's explore something that might seem simple at first glance but is deeply revealing. How someone views kindness. Kindness isn't just about being nice or polite. It's about how someone approaches the world and the people around them. Is their kindness genuine, or is it transactional? Do they give without expecting anything in return, or is there always an ulterior motive? These questions can uncover so much about a person's true character. Think about it. Kindness is one of those qualities that can't be faked for long. You might meet someone who appears generous and thoughtful, but over time, their actions reveal that their kindness only shows up when it benefits them. For example, they're quick to offer help, when it means gaining approval or recognition. But when there's no reward, they suddenly disappear. Folks, that's not kindness. That's self-interest wrapped in a polite package. Let's flip this and consider someone who embodies true kindness. This is the person who goes out of their way to help others, even when there's no immediate payoff. They offer their time, support, or resources simply because they care. Their kindness isn't about what they can get in return. It's about who they are at their core. As Marcus Aurelius said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." Genuine kindness is rooted in this philosophy. It's about doing good for its own sake, not for applause or rewards. Here's a scenario to consider. Imagine you're moving to a new apartment, and you casually mention this to a group of friends. One friend offers to help without hesitation, despite having a busy schedule. Another friend avoids the topic or comes up with excuses to not get involved. These moments reveal not only their willingness to help, but also how they view kindness as a principle. Folks, actions like these aren't just small gestures. They're windows into someone's character. But kindness isn't just about grand gestures. Pay attention to the little things. How does someone treat a stranger who needs help? Do they hold the door open for someone struggling with groceries? Do they offer words of encouragement to someone who seems down? These small acts often reveal more about a person's view on kindness than any grand display ever could. Here's where it gets deeper. Some people see kindness as a weakness. They believe that being kind makes you vulnerable or allows others to take advantage of you. Folks, this mindset often comes from fear or insecurity. But here's the truth. True kindness is a strength. It requires courage, self-assurance, and the ability to act from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Someone who truly values kindness understands this. They know that being kind doesn't diminish their power. It enhances it. Now, let's bring in some Stoic wisdom. Epictetus reminds us, "He who is noble chooses to give rather than to receive." This principle reflects the core of genuine kindness. It's about giving freely without strings attached, because it aligns with your values and character. When someone embodies this mindset, you'll notice it in their actions, their words, and the way they make others feel. But what about when kindness is tested? Let's say someone does something kind for another person, but the recipient doesn't respond with gratitude. How does the giver react? If they're truly kind, they'll understand that their action wasn't about receiving thanks. It was about doing the right thing. But if they lash out or express frustration, it shows their kindness wasn't genuine. It was transactional. Here's a tip for spotting someone's view on kindness. Observe how they act when there's no audience. Are they kind when no one's watching? Do they extend the same generosity to strangers as they do to people they're close to? Folks, true kindness doesn't need an audience. It's consistent, whether or not there's recognition involved. Before we move on, here's something for you to think about. Have you ever noticed someone's true view on kindness through their small actions? Drop a quick "kindness matters" in the comments if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And folks, if you're finding these insights helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. At Stoic Relationships, we're all about exploring the deeper truths that shape our connections and help you navigate life with wisdom. Stick around, because the next sign will take us even further into understanding what truly reveals someone's character. You won't want to miss it. Sign 6. Actions versus words. Hey folks, let's dive into one of the most crucial ways to see someone's true colors: the alignment between their actions and their words. It's easy to say the right things, but following through with consistent actions? That's a different story. Words can be polished, rehearsed, even manipulated, But actions, they don't lie. They're the clearest reflection of someone's intentions and character. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed to say all the right things, but left you feeling disappointed when their behavior didn't match? Maybe they promised to support you, but when the time came, they were nowhere to be found. Or perhaps they spoke about values like honesty or loyalty, yet their actions told a completely different story. Folks, these inconsistencies aren't just red flags. They're neon signs pointing to a deeper truth about who that person really is. Let's break this down. Words are easy. They're effortless to say, especially when someone is trying to make a good impression or avoid conflict. But actions require effort. They demand intention, follow through, and sometimes even sacrifice. This is why paying attention to what someone does, rather than what they say, is so important. Words might tell you what someone wants you to believe, but their actions reveal what they truly value. Here's a scenario you might recognize. Imagine a friend constantly tells you, "I'm always here for you," but when you need their help, they're suddenly too busy or don't respond. Contrast that with someone who doesn't make grand declarations, but consistently shows up when you need them. Folks, it's not the words that matter, it's the pattern of behavior. Reliable actions build trust. Empty words only build frustration. Let's take this idea further. Have you ever noticed how people behave differently depending on the situation? For example, someone might speak passionately about helping others, but fail to act when an opportunity arises. Maybe they talk about being generous, but hesitate when asked to share their time or resources. This disconnect between words and actions is a powerful indicator of authenticity, or lack thereof. On the flip side, someone whose actions consistently align with their words demonstrates integrity. They don't just talk about their values, they live them. These are the people who say they'll call you, and they actually do. They promise to help, and they follow through. Folks, this kind of consistency isn't just refreshing, it's rare, and it's something to value deeply when you find it. Now, let's bring in some Stoic wisdom. Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. More, this principle is at the heart of understanding actions versus words. It's not about what someone claims to believe. It's about how they behave when no one's watching. True character isn't found in grand speeches. It's revealed in the small, consistent actions that align with one's values. But how can you spot this alignment, or lack of it? Start by observing patterns over time. People can talk their way through one or two interactions, but sustained behavior is much harder to fake. Pay attention to whether someone's actions align with the promises they make. Do they treat others the way they claim to value? Do they act with integrity, even when it's inconvenient? These patterns are where the truth lies. Here's a practical tip. When someone's words don't match their actions, trust the actions. For example, if a partner says they prioritize quality time with you but constantly cancels plans, it's their actions, not their words, that reflect their true priorities. Similarly, if a co-worker promises to deliver on a project but consistently misses deadlines, their actions reveal their level of commitment. Let me share a quick story. I once knew someone who always talked about the importance of loyalty in friendships. It sounded great, until I noticed they often gossiped about others behind their backs. Their actions betrayed their words, and once I saw the pattern, I couldn't unsee it. Folks, recognizing these inconsistencies isn't about being judgmental. It's about protecting your peace and aligning yourself with people whose actions support their words. Before we move on, let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced someone whose words didn't match their actions? How did it affect your view of them? Drop a quick "actions matter" in the comments if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear your experiences. And if you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to hit subscribe. At Stoic Relationships, we're here to help you navigate relationships and life with clarity and confidence. Stick around, folks, because the next sign we're exploring will bring even more depth to understanding someone's true nature. You don't want to miss it. Sign 7. When things go wrong. Hey folks, let's talk about one of the most revealing moments in anyone's life. How they behave when things go wrong. It's easy to maintain composure when life is smooth, but when challenges arise, when plans fall apart or unexpected obstacles emerge, that's when someone's true nature shines through. These moments are a stress test for character, and they can tell you more about a person than months of ordinary interactions ever could. But think about it. When faced with setbacks, some people panic or blame others, while others stay calm and focus on solutions. The way someone handles adversity isn't just a reflection of their problem-solving skills. It reveals their emotional resilience, integrity, and ability to navigate life with grace. Folks, these are the moments that separate those who rise to the occasion from those who crumble under pressure. Here's a scenario for you. Imagine you're traveling with a friend, and your flight gets cancelled. It's an inconvenience for sure, but how does your friend react? Do they get angry at the airline staff, snapping at people who have no control over the situation? Or do they take a deep breath, acknowledge the frustration, and calmly work with you to find the next best option? Their reaction in that moment speaks volumes about their ability to manage stress and remain composed under pressure. But it's not just about big, dramatic challenges. Even smaller disruptions can reveal someone's true character. Take, for example, a mistake at work, a typo in a report, a missed deadline, or a misunderstanding in a meeting. How does the person handle it? Do they own up to their mistake and take steps to correct it? Or do they shift blame onto someone else, deflecting responsibility? Folks, accountability in these moments is a hallmark of emotional maturity. Let's connect this to Stoic philosophy for a moment. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." People who embody this mindset don't let external circumstances dictate their behavior. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their reactions, their choices, and their perspective. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a blueprint for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Now, here's something to watch for. How someone treats others when they're under stress. Pressure doesn't just reveal how someone manages their own emotions. It also highlights their level of empathy and respect for those around them. A person who lashes out at others in tough times is showing you that their kindness and patience are conditional. On the other hand, someone who remains considerate and respectful, even when stressed, demonstrates a strong foundation of character. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're in a group setting, observe how people react to a minor setback, like a delay or a change in plans. Does someone take the lead in finding a solution, or do they retreat into frustration? Do they bring the group together, or does their behavior add to the tension? Folks, these patterns are incredibly telling, and once you start paying attention, you'll begin to see the dynamics more clearly. Now, let's not forget that adversity is also a mirror for our own behavior. How do you react when things go wrong? Do you lose your temper or feel overwhelmed? Or do you take a moment to pause and reassess? Developing the ability to stay calm and collected under pressure isn't just good for your relationships. It's a skill that will serve you in every area of life. Let me share a quick story. I once knew someone who prided themselves on being in control. But when a major project at work hit an unexpected snag, their reaction was to blame everyone else and avoid responsibility. Watching their behavior in that moment was a wake-up call. It showed me that their confidence was surface level and dependent on everything going perfectly. Folks, moments like these don't just reveal flaws. They teach us who we can and can't rely on when it matters most. Here's the takeaway. How someone behaves when things go wrong reveals their ability to handle adversity, their respect for others, and their inner strength. These moments aren't just tests of character, they're opportunities to grow, to reflect, and to strengthen our bonds with the people who rise to the occasion alongside us. Hey folks, thank you so much for sticking with me through this journey of uncovering the signs that reveal someone's true colors. Remember, actions always speak louder than words, and by paying attention to the patterns in how people treat others, handle stress, and align their actions with their words, you can protect your peace and build healthier relationships. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our Stoic Relationships community. We're all about giving you the tools to navigate life and relationships with wisdom, clarity, and confidence. And hey, before you go, let me know in the comments, what's one sign you've noticed in someone that changed the way you saw them? I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and stay true to yourself. See you soon.